Welcome to the Eclectic Gamers Podcast. Today is Sunday, January 18th. It's episode 263. I'm Tony.
I'm Dennis. We're back. We have a little bit of pinball news, but we'd like to start with our introductions.
Yeah.
What have you been playing? Tell me about the BattleTech.
I've not played any BattleTech.
I'm proud of you.
I am BattleTech clean since I haven't played it at all since our last episode.
Has that been your New Year's resolution?
No.
No more BattleTech.
No, that wasn't my New Year's resolution. But after we recorded our last episode, I went home and I decided I was going to go ahead and start Rogue Trader. So I fired up 40K Rogue Trader and started it up. And in the character creation, I was like, I'm not going to use one of the pre-generated characters. I'll create my own character. And you're allowed to choose. They've got a huge swath of portraits you can choose to be like your portrait. And one of the first ones I saw was
Shiba Inu.
No, but it was a gentleman in a commissar's uniform who looked like Tom Selleck with the big old giant Tom Selleck mustache. And since we just had that Tom Selleck conversation, I picked this Tom Selleck looking commissar guy. It's like, oh, I have to do this. And then I created my actual 3D avatar. It's like, oh, just based off that, a big old Tom Selleck looking dude. So it's like, oh, a name. It's like, what do I want to name him? What do I want to name him? So I named him Quigley. And he primaries a sniper rifle,
of course.
So because that's the way. So I've been playing. I was playing that all last week and the week or 2 weeks ago, and then all last week I've been playing on it as well. When I've been playing, but I hit a level where I was able to choose like an adjustment to my class, and the version. The adjustment I chose gave me like a pet, like a cyber pet, so I could have like an assistant. And I chose a swarm of servitor skulls, which are basically just a bunch of hovering skulls that help give vision, and I can use my abilities on them, and it turns my single target abilities into an AOE to boost my team, because my guys, I'm a sniper who does a lot of buffing, but it increases my range, so I don't have to be close to buff my people, so I can set farther back. I can use him to buff my melee people while I set farther back and shoot stuff. Well, then it's like, oh, what do you want to name your swarm of servitor skulls? And I'm like,
Princess Donut.
No, I went with Higgins. I had to keep with the Tom Selleck theme.
Well, I'm trying to branch out.
So I was like, well, Higgins was always kind of the little helpful knowledge guy there in Magnum PI, as I recall, and he was a little dude.
I don't think I ever saw Magnum PI, so I don't know anything about that.
I named my servitor skulls Higgins.
Okay,
so it has been a really enjoyable game. It has a very interesting combat mechanic. I've not had anybody be killed yet. I have had most of my team unconscious at the end, where I had like 2 people left to finish the fight because I couldn't wake them up because they were unconscious. But what's interesting is when your people are take severe injuries or are knocked unconscious in combat, they take temporary wounds, and you have so much time to use med packs to cure those temporary wounds, or else they become disabilities.
Right.
And if you don't do that, they become disabilities that are permanent. Ish. They're permanent until you go back to your void ship. Because obviously then the medicos can fix you fully up.
Yes.
But as long as you're running around on a planet taking part in stuff, you can get more and more wounded and some pretty negative stats. One of my guys had taken 2 wounds, and he basically had negative 20 to toughness, and he only had 30 toughness to start with. So every hits that they would normally have been that's 5 points of damage. He takes the hit, and it's he's down. So it's an interesting system, as it makes, while you're actively playing in an area on the ground doing story mode, or not story mode, but following your story and completing quest, if you don't stay on top of it, your stuff just continually gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And then once you return the ship and start over, basically everybody's back to 100%. So when you start again, you start fresh. But if you have a bad run on a mission starting out, when you get towards the end and start worrying about, bosses and bigger fights and stuff, your people can be pretty badly crippled. I had a mission where I was in a real rough spot because Quigley and one of my other people had taken several wounds building up to it. And I thought I was at the end, and I was right. I was at the end. And I'm like, okay, and then there's a giant wave of enemies, and it's like, okay, so I'm going to have to blow through this mass of enemies. Well, that's all right. I'll keep these two back and use ranged weapons with them and just kind of protect them. And then they dropped a Chaos Marine on me, and it was rough. That was the one where I ended. I only had two people left at the end of that one, and part of the problem was that once I dropped all of the baddies and the Chaos Marine, a long way away from where I was, there was a sniper just sniping. And at that point, all of my good ranged fighters were down. So my melee fighters were basically running at them, like holding a pistol in one hand, like shooting from extreme range. It was very difficult, but it's been fun. It's been interesting, and it's especially for people who have an interest in 40K. It's a lot of. It has a very good system. It's designed, you can tell, for people who don't have the deep lore of 40K, because when you're reading and stuff comes up, it's all like naturally in the dialogue and such. But things that might be very specific to the setting, and you might not know what it is, will be in bold. And if you mouse over it, it gives you a tooltip that explains exactly what it is. So it's very friendly for people who are not buried in the lore of 40K to know what's being talked about.
All right. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't played a 40K game. Well, no, I hedge because I did play the Space Marine. I was going to say I haven't played one that isn't that style in quite a while, because I played a RTS one years and years ago. Yeah, Dawn of War. Dawn of War 2, actually, I think was the one I played. Well, speaking of Dawn, it's a dawn of a new Patreon member. Dog Days joined our Patreon. Thank you, Dog Days.
Welcome.
We appreciate it, especially in the dog days of winter. It's like the dog days of summer, but cold. No, I haven't made much progress since our last episode on any video games. I've mostly been grinding equipment unlocks in Battlefield 6. I've been working on objectives for the classes, because I tend to favor certain classes. Like I usually play support followed by engineer, with the recon being last. And so my assault and my recon are not all that advanced. I fully love, I've got everything unlocked for support. I've done all the support challenges, but and engineer is relatively close, but assault and recon in particular are way behind, because sniping on console has never been particularly easy, and what you have to do to achieve these things makes you play in different ways, and not all those ways are fun for me. But usually it's not like asking for absurd amounts of it, so you get a little taste of, oh yeah, this is. And I have actually, by changing things up, learned different ways, like different build outs, different pieces of equipment, and it's kind of like after I got to use them, like, you know what, I actually do like this piece of equipment, but most of the time I don't. So that is what I have been doing. Now, pinball. Okay. We have a few listener emails, but we're not going to start with those. I was hoping we would be talking about Pokemon. I thought, at this point it's the 18th we're recording, on the 18th of January. I can't remember the last year where Stern did not have their kind of Q1 cornerstone game revealed by now. I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be tomorrow.
I thought that this would be the dawn of Stern taking back the attention from these little upstart manufacturers.
So it's dawn. So it'll be the dawn. So that's.
It's always darkest before it's dawn.
Dawn is Johto. So it's Johto Pokemon. Dennis just dropped it. It's Johto based Pokemon. So,
anyway,
not Kanto based.
But we don't know. Where is Stern? Have they? What's going on with them? I don't understand. Instead, we're hearing about stuff like Jack Danger doing a design by internet committee of Tank Girl. I don't know what's going on here. No, there's not. We're not talking about that. because I don't know enough about it. But however, American Pinball, of all companies, American Pinball to the rescue. Or should we say JB Vincent LP to the rescue? So there is an announcement. Press release came out on the 15th. And I will go ahead and read this press announcement. It is somewhat lengthy, but I won't read the about, but I'm going to read the main few paragraphs. So, permit me to begin. And this is based in San Angelo, Texas. So, hey, Texas and pinball yet again. JB Vincent LP today announced that it has acquired the assets of American Pinball Incorporated, marking a significant new chapter for the company. This acquisition positions American Pinball for renewed growth, expanded innovation, and a strengthened commitment to delivering licensed titles paired with the highest quality manufacturing in the industry. J. Bryant Vincent is a seasoned investor with a proven track record in brand imaging, product development, and innovation, as well as scaling high-quality manufacturing operations. Under the direction and leadership of J.B. Vincent LP, the company will focus on building out a best-in-class team, enhancing product design, intellectual property, and building long-term value while honoring the craftsmanship and creativity that the pinball community expects. This investment is about the future, said J. Brian Vincent, managing partner of JB Vincent LP. Both American Pinball and Orbit Games have some elements we can build on. However, our top priority is building trust in the company while fostering a positive and engaging culture for employees and customers. I am a pinball enthusiast, so this investment is personally exciting for me. We are hitting the ground quickly and are already in the process of securing available licensing agreements for upcoming games. JB Vincent is committed to providing the liquidity and every resource available to make American Pinball a market leader that is passionate about serving the pinball community. Vincent brings decades of experience as a manufacturer with expertise in developing differentiated products and brands that resonate with customers. His background includes successfully leading organizations through growth plans that require both creativity and discipline in manufacturing. Pinball is a uniquely American manufacturing story, Vincent added. Our goal is to ensure American Pinball is positioned not just to survive, but to thrive by building a community-oriented culture that attracts people committed to building the best machines that are innovative, beautiful, and exciting to play. We believe pinball is an adventure, and we invite our customers to play the adventure with us. Okay. So you had already known about this announcement, Tony. I just wanted to have some conversation on it. What do you think? Let's just start with that. What do you think?
I mean, American needed something. It's been quite a while since they had, since we first started talking about their issues and their growing problems.
Do you think this is a solution that they need?
I think it's a solution, and quite frankly, that's better than what they had going on. It's the solution that I expected most likely to see was somebody to come in and take the reins. The question is just going to be, how well does it turn out?
Now it looks like this JB Vincent is a small shop in terms of an investor. Like it's an investor dude, not like a big venture capital group. Nonetheless, obviously the buildup of the assets and the investment in the company is what will speak to the development. Here's what I wanted to ask you. Overall, yes, I think this move makes sense. It was clear to me that Aimtron wasn't really interested anymore in trying to make this work.
Right.
It seemed like maybe with the whole Orbit Games thing that they thought they had a pivot, but that pivot, I don't know. We weren't seeing anything pivot from that pivot. Like, are they hoping to get into they flirted with so many things. Like, hey, let's be a contract manufacturer for other ideas, but it didn't seem like anyone was going to that. I don't know, the price was too high or what. Unlike some companies, American Pinball's reputation is kind of an interesting one. Like, they didn't have a reputation for bad build quality, broadly speaking. They had a few issues early on with like the Houdinis with some power supply stuff, but they made right by that, as I understood it.
Yeah.
Most of the judgment on American Pinball had been their theme selection and a lot of the PR launch, like the launch strategies and all of that. Not all of that was their fault. Hot Wheels dropping right before the pandemic shut everything down. I mean,
yeah,
that was a game that I really thought could have done a lot better for them. But unfortunately, it's like They designed a game finally that maybe operators would want, and then operators can operate, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. And I also think they've had their issue that they have concentrated on non-licensed or minimally licensed games. And I think we've seen enough truth in the hobby to this point to know that as much as people clamor and are loud about wanting non-licensed games and license not being important, that's not true.
Yes. And we've talked about that at length. Mm-hmm. Here's my big question for you. Do you think they should keep the name American Pinball?
I hadn't thought about it. I don't know. I don't think that the brand is tarnished so much that a name change is required.
And that's why I wanted to ask, because I agree with you, but is the name worth anything?
I don't know that if it might, if it's not worth something huge. It's not like the Gottlieb name or like Stern or something.
Yeah, I see. Because in the press release, JB Vincent has announced that they have the assets. So I'm assuming that's like the equipment and all the rest of it. Like, so he's got the stuff to have a pinball company. I don't see why I wouldn't keep the name. I don't think it brings anything to the table. And that's why I kind of opened with that. They don't have this terrible build quality reputation or anything like that where, but it also, the name what do you if I tell you American Pinball, like right now, I'll be like, hey, Tony, do you want an American Pinball game? What comes to your mind?
Like Oktoberfest and right, that whole thing.
So you think of
the initial startup, the original rollout of Houdini, but I'm old school.
Sure.
I've been in this hobby like so many of our listeners for a long time at this point.
When I hear American Pinball, like the very first thing I think right now is, oh, that company that's dying.
True.
But
this is the resurrection.
Sure, but how many of the enthusiasts, again, there are enthusiasts and then there are enthusiasts. How many of the enthusiasts are going to know or care about, there are probably plenty of enthusiasts out there that don't know that a bunch of, a couple of billionaires came in, bailed out JJP, and is why that company stayed afloat. They don't know.
Right.
Because who cares? All they know is JJP kept operating, putting out games, and doesn't have a reputation for dying. American Pinball, on the other hand, puts out a bunch of titles that, broadly speaking, did not connect with people. Again, depends on your level of enthusiasm. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know about the major transition away from Joe Balser to David Fix. And then the post-Fix era was mostly a disaster, quite frankly. Whether it's his fault or not.
Right.
Mostly a disaster from, the effort. The last big effort was Galactic Tank Force, which was a questionable choice on a few fronts. Creative, absolutely. But on a questionable from... there's a lot of questions that one could raise about from just what they chose to put together in that game, from how they chose to market it, and just also as how quickly they chose to quit marketing it.
Yeah.
And then pivoting to barbecue, which I think 0% of the pinball community thinks was a smart move. It wasn't smart. It just wasn't. Hearts were in the right place. Brains were somewhere else. I don't know where the brains were. So... a lot of things like this. So now when people saw the Pinoween sales, they had a Halloween sale called Pinoween. No, I don't think we talked about it, but they did. They've done it a couple times. They constant stuff. And these sales, real discount. This is not look, everything's 10% off. It's everything's always 10% off. Now you're just calling it the Valentine's Day sale now that we're past Christmas, sort of thing, right? You see them online all the time. No, real the pricing is, maybe they're always the same deals, but the pricing is thousands off. It's significant. But people have this fear about buying that game because there won't be any support because the company will go under.
Right.
There would have to be a lot of marketing, in my opinion, by JB Vincent LP to convince people that this is the phoenix rising from the ashes of the old American Pinball, and you don't have to have those fears anymore. On the flip side, starting under a new name raises all the new name concerns too. So people will be like, well, is it going to last? Or can we trust that I'll be able to get parts from this? So I can't say that changing names will alleviate some of these concerns I'm raising, but starting from scratch to me with their equipment and stuff seems like it may be safer. They may also have the original IP assets, but they could always do like what, Sega and Data E, like dual branded, like, and just do the same game. Honestly, I don't think there's enough demand, especially after the Pinoween sales, to like start doing their version of Oktoberfest, or where like I think those titles are played out at this point.
I think you're right.
I don't think they had any interest in the existing IP. I think it's the gear. I think it's the manufacturing equipment. I think it's the capabilities to build that was appealing. So I don't know. The lead behind this J. Brian Vincent, who is of JB Vincent, is on Pinside. I guess he's been on there for years, from what I've read. Has a large collection, like 40 plus pins. So that part, like, he is a real enthusiast. Those aspects, I think, mean that he will. American Pinball was definitely not enthusiast driven. Like, it seemed very much like, here's a company that makes circuit boards. Hey, pinball companies want these things. Hey, maybe we should just spin up our own pinball side and make a bunch of pinball machines. And then they tried to bring in enthusiasts to run it.
Yeah.
Didn't work out for them in the end. I guess I would start from scratch. I think that's where I'm landing. I acknowledge, though, that it isn't as easy as I initially thought it would be to make that choice. But I'm just not sure. Saying you're still American Pinball, I don't think that's got legs worth walking on.
I don't know if it hurts you enough to fully counteract the starting over aspect of a name change too. Unless you are doing the whole, we're Billy Jim Bob Pinball, formerly known as American Pinball, or unless it's something along those lines, because the proven ability to build out good quality games is going to be a huge leg up. So, because like you were saying earlier, they've never really had a quality problem with the game builds. Their quality problem is that most of their games have been terrible. So, if they can change that, but keep what good PR they have, it's a question. I think it's a push. Is where I'm coming
right.
from.
And you
I don't
may
think
be
it's
right.
one big. I think both ways have their negatives, and I think their negatives are so similar and so overall minor. I think it's a push. I don't think it's going to be very much different either way.
Let me ask you something even more speculative. All right. So this investment company is based out of Texas.
Yeah.
Is American Pinball moving to Texas?
I wouldn't.
But they're not going to be able to keep working out of the Aimtron building, so they got to move.
They do, but we've seen enough people make the moves because there is a larger pool of experienced people to pull from in the Chicago area.
True, but I mean, back in the day when we would talk Texas, we were really only talking multimorphic. And
Correct.
I know we'd seen like their job listings sit for a long time. So now, granted, some of that may have very well been what they were offering to pay versus what Buc-ee's was paying.
Very much,
because
yeah.
I know you did an analysis of that. I don't know if we ever talked about it on air, but
Yeah.
Tony pulled up the amounts of what Buc-ee's was making, and we looked against what they were advertising at multimorphic. This was a few years ago, and Buc-ee's was a better deal.
Oh, and not like a little bit, like
You'd work less hard for more money. Sort
Yes.
of thing. That's what we mean by better deal. If you loved pinball, then obviously your opinion would have shifted. However, and then of course the failed Deep Root was based out of there. But now Barrels of Fun is also based out of Texas, and I believe builds out of there. So it's starting to feel like with multimorphic and Turner Pinballs down there and Barrels down there, it's starting to feel like, is that like Chicago Light? Is Texas the little mini Chicago?
Here's the problem with that. Texas is huge.
Yeah.
And these areas where Chicago, everything is, it's all Chicago adjacent. It's all within like 45 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And there's spots in Texas that, depend upon where the spread is, it's like, we're real close. We're only 6 hours away.
I mean, they're there are downsides.
There are downsides.
And I don't know
Let's see.
I don't know where each one of these companies is based in Texas. And I'm not saying San Angelo is going to be where the manufacturing is. I just wanted to throw it out there.
It should definitely not be San Angelo.
But maybe part of his strategy is to. My guess, and this is a guess,
because San Angelo is like in the middle of nowhere. Texas.
Yes, apparently further out than everything else. Yeah, so. No, I don't know. I'm assuming labor's cheaper in Texas.
I would assume, but then you are going to have the cost of so much long distance moving.
I mean, yeah, the parts supply, most of your supply chain is probably, unless they're using alternative supply chain. I don't know.
And
so you think they should stay in the Chicago area?
I think it would make the most sense to stay in the Chicago area. Now, I do think if they do move to Texas, they need to move to like Dallas, Fort Worth area, San Antonio area, near a place that has a pool of possible workers, not rural Texas.
Okay. Well, let me give you a third option that I hadn't really considered, but I am now. And that is, what if they, instead of going to Texas or staying in the Chicago area, go to Benton, Wisconsin, and make a play to poach all the spooky employees and become the new pinball company of Benton? I know it seems far-fetched, but if they were to offer like $5 more an hour and just be like, you know what, we're going to use our venture investment capital liquidity that they focused on in the press release and just like destroy Spooky's workforce by lure them all over to the dark side with greenbacks.
I mean, hear me out. Vancouver.
With the tariff thing, that's out. That's out. You forgot about the tariffs. We can't.
Vancouver, Oregon.
My one weakness. I forgot about Oregon. Yes. Interestingly, they could end up selling a lot of pinball machines right on their back door because Oregon and Portland is one of the biggest pinball meccas there is in Seattle. I guess because of all the rain. I never really fully understood, but
yeah, no, I hadn't really thought. I guess in my mind when I thought of this kind of purchase, I thought it was more. It just settled into my head as a change of management with no overall major changes in geographical location and or naming.
Well, anyway, and you may be right. I don't know. We will learn more in the coming weeks as JB Vincent starts to share more information about the intentions and everything else. But it's interesting. It's big news. I think a lot of people are excited.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that when we were doing our look to the future last year, pretty sure we thought that American would be gone.
We predicted that they were going to go out of business like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Because of all the business and I think the issue there was with the business decisions that were happening, it just seemed like, how can they keep going? And I think Aimtron just kept bailing them. Like Aimtron was, it's like Aimtron was subsidizing it. And there were all sorts of theories that people are like, oh, they're using it as a tax write-off and all this other stuff. And sometimes I think people lose sight of that, like being able to have a tax write-off and explicitly going, we want a tax write-off in terms of when they link up is just one of those things. But anyway, I just thought that would be a good one for us to go ahead and talk about for a little bit. So thank you for participating with that. Y'all can always email collectinggamerspodcast@gmail.com regarding what you think is going to happen with American Pinball. It might be interesting to hear your thoughts, or I should say, read your thoughts about it. Speaking about reading thoughts about things, we have a couple of emails that I did want to go ahead and cover that came in before today. Chris C. wrote into us, and I will now read that. Gents, Happy New Year. Listening to your most recent episode, I had a couple of thoughts. First, I too decided to opt out of competitive pinball because of one simple fact. I didn't want to burn an entire day waiting to play. It wasn't as much about whether I progressed or got to get qualified or got the finals, just that a lot of the process was sitting around and not doing the thing I set out to do, play pinball. This isn't a slam on folks that are into competitive pinball. A lot of my pinball friends are not only into it, but excel at it. I'm super stoked that they enjoy it and are excited by tournaments. I pretty quickly, however, realized it wasn't for me. Second, for the listener looking for a cheaper gateway into virtual pinball, well, it won't give you the access to the widest library. If they have a Nintendo Switch, they should look into the Flip Grip. A quick Google search shows that they've been knocked off by the Amazon clone army, trademark. But the Flip Grip is a device that is intended to play games in Tate mode for vertically oriented shmups, etc. There's even a list of Flip Grip friendly games at https://www.doesitflip.com. It works a treat for pinball games, too, with the shoulder buttons for flippers and the left joystick for nudging. I played plenty of Stern TPA and the Zen pinball games on it, and it is a must-take when I travel. Speaking of travel, last time I was in Overland Park, I visited Chartreuse Caboose with some pin friends and found the pins to be in good condition. Definitely recommend a visit. All right, thank you, Chris. I didn't know about this. I don't know, do you know what Tate stands for? I don't know what that. I didn't know that term, but I guess it means vertical mode.
Yeah, it's vertical mode.
Okay.
That's
cool.
Acronym. I actually have one.
Oh, why didn't you suggest it?
It is in one of my drawers.
Oh,
because I haven't touched my Switch in years.
Yes, that's true.
So it's in storage in one of my drawers. But I do have one of them because I have used it. I used it more for shmups, but they are very good. And yeah, Chartreuse Caboose not only has some good pins, they've got good food.
Yeah, I believe the people that maintain the Chartreuse Caboose pins, which I still have not gone and played, are the same operators that are doing Nubs Pub and Pizza West and 403.
Yeah.
So I would expect them to be in good condition.
Because I ate at the one on 87th Street last summer, and played a couple games.
Okay. Well, and Chris brought up the. I don't know that we really focused on this so much, other than how long the tournaments were, but he brings up a good point. That was another. I mean, it's nice to have good downtime, quote unquote downtime, to socialize with people, but there's a lot of downtime in a pinball tournament. A lot. And that's why things get backed up, because you have one person have one like. Certain styles of gameplay are more fun, in my view, like competitively than others. But when it's like the 4-3 or like the 4-2-1-0 scoring, like I like that format. But nobody can advance until all the banks are done, and someone's on Hobbit.
Right.
Well, there goes half an hour minimum.
I've definitely, I will say, I have definitely gone to tournaments where I've had where I've been sitting down reading a book.
Yeah, it's just one of those struggles that we all face when we try and do it. But I do still want to get back and maybe just do not like I used to, but
not
hit a few
a month every month.
Yeah,
I feel bad about not having done any last
year. Yes, I do too. I feel bad for not having done any for the last 2 years. I actually finally threw away my state pinball championship qualification shirt. It finally got a hole in it. Because I wear it like any other shirt.
Yeah.
Then the year I qualified. And by qualified, I mean enough of the better players could not make the tournament.
Or we're going to Missouri.
Yes. This was the year that one of our high level players was getting married that day. So he couldn't go. And there were a few other people. I don't know if they were going to the wedding or they had other conflicts. So I ended up in the 15th seed and it was the top 16 people based off of Kansas score, which, don't get me wrong, I had a really good year that year, but I mean, I was coming in officially like as the 21st seed or something. So,
right.
And I got 12th in that tournament. So I did better than you would have thought I would have, but
yeah,
it was tough. That was after I got kind of knocked out of the process and to get placed in the lower tier, that was the one where I had to play Gordon on Black Rose. And I was like, what is this game? this pirate game. He's like, I love Black Rose. And he proceeded to show me how much he enjoys Black Rose versus.
Let me show you how this game works.
Let me show you what I am used to. No. Anyway, so he did very well on it, and I did not as well on it. All right. Another email. Brian G. wrote in. Hey guys, great show. I listened to it while driving around around servicing my small pinball route that I set up in the north of Portugal. Hey, Portugal. I didn't know we had listeners in Portugal.
Awesome.
Or does he mean Portugal, Oregon? Is that near Vancouver?
It could be.
Okay. It might be. Well, hey, I didn't know
I'm
we
just going
had.
to assume the country because it's more exotic.
It is, but I didn't know we had listeners from Oregon either. So it's kind of like we win either way. Brian continues. I just wanted to drop a few ideas for pinball/video game related topics you might want to use. So he's given us some ideas, but when I looked them over, I thought we could talk about all of these on this episode. So number one, and we'll kind of do them by these chunks. So continuing on. Have you ever played a game I created called Rollers of the Realm on Steam, PS3, and Vita? Have you played this, Tom?
I hadn't even heard of it.
I didn't know about it. Continuing, he goes, it won some awards back in 2014, like Best of Play at GDC 2014. And could be something interesting for you guys to talk about in either the pinball or video game segment, since it is both. It also has a sequel in the works, which will be the first time in my career that a sequel game is being made based off of something I created from the ground up. Best part about it is I just get to play it when it comes out instead of spending half a decade making it this time. Lol. The story behind why Rollers of the Realm got made, it was a portfolio project to help a bunch of my colleagues get jobs in the industry after being laid off from Silicon Knights. When that game they had spent years working on got sold off after Sega dropped the ball and THQ picked it up only to go bankrupt the next year after doubling the budget and the game's scope. And the ideation process and eventual evolution of the title over its development are all very unorthodox and interesting stories. Okay, I want to pause here. So I don't know Rollers of the Realm. I'm writing it on my little notepad because I think I'm going to look on Steam for this.
I literally looked it up while you were reading it, or just before you started reading
on
it. It looks pretty cool.
Okay, all right, because it might be worth. How much is it?
Like $9, $10.
I might just buy it and play it to give a. I don't want to say a review. Now I feel like, oh god,
now it's a thing.
Oh no,
oh no, we've Gollumed. He's Gollumed himself.
No. What's it wants with us, this master? Oh, I still the nightmares still come. Oh, I have to be very careful. But anyway, but Silicon Knights. So they made that X-Men game, right? Like the.
I don't recognize.
I don't think you play. I don't recall you played it. I'm looking over at my shelf like I have it on my shelf, and I don't because those are movies, not games. But that was, if I'm remembering correctly, Silicon Knights was the company where there was the whole bankruptcy thing. There was a lawsuit, and if I remember right, the judge ordered all the unsold copies were to be destroyed.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, it was. Like, yeah, if you check on the power of the internet right now,
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think I cannot remember.
Canadian video game developer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. If I'm remembering the brand correctly, it's tough for me to say because it's been so many years. This is back in the 360 era. But yeah, that if I remember though, that brand, that video game company, I should say, ran into a whole host of issues. Related to this, I don't remember if it was like the licensure stuff or all of that, but X-Men Destiny was X-Men Destiny. That I bought that and played it before it was illegal for them to sell it, and the game was all right. Like you could tell, like it didn't get baked as long as it should have, but and they had a few other things that I think were kind of popular, like I think Too Human was something that they did with Microsoft Studios. They may have been involved with some other stuff. I can't really remember. I didn't know most of their other stuff. I think they were tied to a Metal Gear in some way, but I've never really played the Metal Gear Solid games. But yeah, there was like this whole fight with one of the other one of the other companies. It was anyway. It was a whole thing. So yeah, I'm sure he's got some interesting stories from it because the whole thing about what happened with Silicon Knights was this weird hodgepodge of just a disaster of stuff going on. Like they had a fight with Epic Games.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They sued Epic Games. Epic Games countersued. And Silicon Knights lost bad, like going out of business because of it bad.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't just X-Men Destiny. They were like, there were other games. I think it was also Too Human. I don't know if it was other stuff, but there were two big games that they had out that were told all the unsold stuff, destroy it. Like, this is like, there is no negotiation. This is over. You're in the wrong. Destroy it. Like, so how could they make any money? Like, all the stuff that they were selling was no longer allowed to be sold. So I still have that X-Men Destiny around somewhere. I did finish it, by the way.
So this is off of the Wikipedia.
We always trust it.
It's just what it was easy to find. So Epic Games prevailed against the lawsuit and won their countersuit for $4.45 million on grounds of copyright infringement, misappropriation of trade secrets, and breach of contract. And an injury award that was later doubled due to prejudgment interest, attorney's fees, and cost. The presiding judge stated that Silicon Knights had deliberately and repeatedly copied thousands of lines of Epic Games' copyrighted code and then attempted to conceal its wrongdoing by removing Epic Games' copyright notices and by disguising Epic Games' copyrighted code as Silicon Knights' own. Evidence against Silicon Knights was overwhelming, as it not only copied functional code but also non-functional internal comments Epic Game programmers had left for themselves.
Ouch. Oops, their one weakness.
So they were directed to destroy all game code derived from the Unreal Engine 3 and all information from licensing restricted areas of the Unreal Engine documentation website.
Okay.
So it was to recall and destroy all unsold retail copies of games built with it, including Too Human and X-Men Destiny, and 3 games that had not been released.
Okay. All right, so they had some unreleased stuff using it. Okay, interesting. All right, sorry for the aside, but at that one I was just like, oh, wow. I hadn't thought about Silicon Knights in a while. All right, number 2 from Brian. What are your top 3 pinball machines that were fully released last year? So by that, I mean games that finally hit 1.0 or finished code by the developers. So titles like D&D and John Wick would not count, but something like Jaws and Cactus Canyon Upgrade Kit would. All right, so I'm going to pause here. Here's the problem. I don't know what hit 1.0. Like, I don't even know like a convenient way to look it up. I'm sure there is a way. I will tell you based off of the list he gave, I would tell you Jaws because I think Jaws code was awesome before it even came out.
Yeah.
But Jaws is the only one I think I have played at 1.0, like because I have it. I don't own I've never even tried the upgrade kit.
Yeah, and I can't remember every game I played last year, but I will say pretty much everything I played is either games from the 80s or early 90s or last year's new releases, which are definitely not 1.0.
Right. So I'm sorry, but I can't tell you honestly I can't do a top 3 because I don't think I've played with the 1.0 code beyond Jaws since they got to 1.0, so it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is I would say yes, Jaws definitely. Jaws is. I think there's a really strong argument to be made that Gieski's rules, I think she's the one who's done Jaws rules, I think you could argue they are more interesting than Godzilla's code. But now whether you like the layout as much, that I'd probably lean the other way and still say Godzilla's got I like the layout a bit more on Godzilla, but both are really fun games.
Yeah.
So. All right, and his number 3, actually, I think he's got 4. Number 3, I wanted to give you a rumor on the V-Pin side of things. You know what? Let me go ahead, and I'm going to drop in the rumor corner
music.
That's right.
The music.
Rumor corner. Rumor corner. Rumor corner. Rumor corner. Rumor corner. Dennis Creasel's got the news before Napa Arcade. Is that right, Tony? Yeah.
So, here's what Brian's rumor corner is. There is a new company currently developing original IP V-Pin tables. So although we see very few original IPs in the physical sense, we are going to get a few more attempts at it over the next couple of years, rolling out on certain platforms.
Neat.
You've heard it here first. That's your rumor corner.
Neat.
And number 4 from Brian. Finally, I've also started a whitewood for an IP. Holy crap, this guy does everything. Sorry, I'm interjecting opinion again when I should keep reading. I finally started a whitewood for an IP that still doesn't have any pinball games out there. The theme will be set in a specific era of the Warhammer 40K universe. If both of you were to make your own homebrews, what theme would you choose, and what 2 key aspects would you want in it? Cheers, Brian. Now, Brian, let me say something. I think it's a little unfair that you bring up 40K in front of Tony and then immediately say, "So what homebrew would you do now that I've taken 40K and Tony can't have it?" Because that's how I interpreted this.
Oh, that's fine. I'm interested because of the layering of specific era. Because specific era makes me wonder: are we talking Horus Heresy here? Are we talking 30K? Ooh, that'd be interesting.
But he said 40K.
Right. But 30K is the reference to games that take place prior to 40K is like the modern setting.
Right.
30K is like the Horus Heresy setting, which is where the Space Marines broke and the whole Chaos Marine set faction were formed.
That's when the Emperor was still fighting on the field himself.
Yes.
Okay.
I've read some of the lore. Yeah.
So that's 30K.
That's how most people consider it. At least most people that I talk to.
I mean, would you? I have heard of Horus Heresy. Aside from that, and modern, is there a time that people would want a game set in?
I mean,
like,
don't know. I mean, I would that is a very popular setting. There's also very popular settings that are very tied into certain like battles and segments and stuff like little portions of it, like the whole all of the fighting around Cadia time and time again, and all the various, depending on what lore and which books you're talking about, they all have their own little specific niches of the universe. So there's a bunch of them that it could be, and it'd be interesting to see. I would say that being my penchant for humor and everything else, I could see the joys of a 40K game that is less based around just 40K as a whole and is more specifically focused on like Cephas Cain and his entire story series, which are just humorous as can be. Also, anything based directly around like the Eisenhorn books would be really interesting and fun. But no, if I was going to do my own IP and my own homebrew with an IP that I would choose from, it wouldn't be 40K.
Okay. What would you do?
Oh, come on. Really? Mm-hmm. I'd do BattleTech.
No, I didn't know. I thought there was already someone BattleTech homebrew.
There is. There is somebody. There is, and
they've made critical errors.
I didn't. I did not say that.
I know. I did.
Their game is interesting and fun. I've played a decent amount of it at TPF. Oh, pardon me. But it is also very much based around one of the later time eras than what I would target. I'm kind of a grognard. I like the 30-25 time era, so I would probably base something closer to that whole little intro text section. Or if I was going to push it out, I'd push it to, well, I mean, no, that'd be right about 30-25 is the start of the Fourth Succession War, roughly. So I do Fourth Succession War is what I would do.
Mm-hmm. So what 2 key aspects would be in this game to really, kind of ram the theme home?
For me, it would be just like we see in Game of Thrones, where you choose your house. You would choose a house. That, to me, that would be a key part of it. And this is where I would want to utilize the LCD displays, because depending upon the house you chose would change what your LCD, your coloration and what you look at, and it would change how your bonuses work and how everything else works. So that's one key thing I would have, is you have to be able to choose your house. And let's see what other key aspect in it would I want. I think there would definitely have to be a very large, I don't know how I would make it work, but I would want to make how you choose how the combat and stuff would interact with the actual playing. Because I think instead of trying to do something more small scale, like where it's like you like choose a mech or whatever, I would want it to be more strategic. So if you're taking place there in the fourth succession war, you choose your specific house, and then you would get to like kind of direct it. So it'd be almost more of a strategic. So instead of being like a battle, it's like, when you're playing a mode, you're fighting for a planet, and you could actually have a branching thing based upon winning or losing your various modes. You could have it where it branches out so that it's like, I say I'm the Free Worlds League because I decided I hated myself. And I was fighting, and I decided because I hated myself more to drop on Hephaestus because I wanted to watch my armies dissolve. But say I managed to capture Hephaestus, that would give me an option to jump deeper in Delirian space. So that would be an option. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because by doing that timeline, if you started right at the beginning of the fourth succession war, it would actually cut your house count down depending on how you did it. What with the joining of the Federated Sons and the Lyrian Commonwealth into the Federated Commonwealth. So instead of having Steiner and Davian, you would just have the one. Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Or if you hate yourself, you can play Capellans. Mm-hmm. And then just lose.
I don't know if anyone understood any of that, but I think they all were very excited.
No, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really interesting, and anybody who wants to come to my TED Talk where I have a deeper conversation about BattleTech, you let me know. You look me up, and I'll sit down and talk BattleTech with you all day at TPF.
Yes,
so,
he will.
So your choice, Dennis.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe in home.
Look at all of the time I just gave you to think about it.
No, I have one, but I would rather, because this one's such a good commercial one, it doesn't really need to be homebrewed, whereas your idea does. No, I still want to see Die Hard, so it's not like my favorite movie or anything, but I just think it would make such a good pinball machine as just the first one.
Would the first one be better, or would
I want the
with
first
a vengeance be better?
That would be debatable about, like, there's the problem with Vengeance is because it's not like a one scene thing. It's New York.
Right.
Like there's a lot of element. In some ways it's easier to pick the pieces you would want to convey it. But it's just not as iconic. So for me, the two key aspects would be probably want, if, you'd actually need to drop the playfield. This is what the part that would make it pretty good homebrew though. Drop the playfield lower in the cabinet. There's a lot of space in the cabinet. Mm-hmm. You basically need to sink it more for a couple reasons. One, got to have Nakatomi Tower as a toy. But I'm imagining it as like, so we know like we have the Godzilla building in the back. Probably needs to be a bit bigger, but instead of it changing levels like the Godzilla building does, where, when Godzilla knocks it down and stuff, like there should be something, maybe it's with one flipper, like upper playfield style, to be the roof. I also want a chopper toy. It doesn't have to move around other than I want the blade to spin to kind of convey that scene where he has to avoid the FBI snipers and stuff. And so there could be a little part that you play up there. There also should be on a little bit lower level, think almost like minifig style. There needs to be a part where his wife is hanging out of the building when that mode activates, and you have to, or Hans is and stuff, and you have to make, and the toy will actually go. And it could be like on a little belt or whatever, because then it needs to reset.
Yeah, hear me out.
What? No.
I know.
What?
Bonsai Run It.
Bonsai. Oh, in the pack box.
There you
That's
go.
a lot of work.
You have minifigs jumping out of the building and then getting reeled back in. You've already got a lot of work.
Yeah, but
keyed up.
no one wants to play the pachinko thing. So those are the main. And again, if depending how deep I could set it and how, because I don't want to lose too much of the visual. You're pretty close though. It could be pretty small. We could use other levels to do something, like there'd be the little level maybe with LEDs to show the part where he's where the bad guys are launching the rockets at the police armored vehicle or whatnot. Not like actually literally launching rockets, because I don't know how you reload those. I'd use firecrackers, but anyway, it sounds like a fire hazard, so we won't do that part. The other thing would be rather than subways, again because it's deeper, some of the ball pathing should just be vent ducts. It will look like vent ducts, and it will be like an elevated train style. So the ball is rolling above the playfield, but you can't see it because it's in the vent.
Oh,
that would be my second key thing. Third thing, maybe, I haven't decided on this yet, would be if we go ahead and do a plexiglass playfield beneath, kind of lower playfield style, because I want it to be a fairly lengthy portion. And I think the balls do fine on that sort of style of surface. But it lights up down below, lights up like the old Gottlieb style would for things like I'm trying to think some of the stuff that they did. What's the one where you're building the robot? It's not Bride of Pinball, but there was a Gottlieb one where you're Genesis. Like Genesis, it lights up when you're doing things with the robot because it's underneath, but it's under a clear portion.
Right.
I think Bad Girls might do something like that too. Anyway, lights up for the limo crash into the escape van mode. But you're playing up top. The ball's not down there. You're playing up top, but if you hit the proper hurry-ups, you activate it, the Hot Wheels limo crashes into it. But I need a lot of length because I want it to go clink. So that's why we have to have a lot of plexiglass. Those are my ideas.
Neat.
There might also be like little toys, like they could have little figurines of the SWAT team, and they're holding their little hand because they touched a rose bush and got scratched, and they're upset. And that one bad guy has to eat a Twix bar.
Right. Well, while you're at it, you need to be able to plug in a wired like PlayStation controller or Xbox controller, and have a little hanger to hold a roll of duct tape. So you duct tape it to the middle of your back, and there's a point in gameplay where you have to put your hands on your head, and the only flippers that work are the ones that are on that controller. So you have to rip it off your back and play.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my idea. You seem to have a lot of thoughts on my idea. I didn't have a lot to contribute to your idea.
You don't know anything about my idea because it's a universe I didn't have any history with.
I didn't have any thoughts. I feel bad about that. All right. So,
I just figured if we were doing minifigs jumping off the building and getting
not like literal ones. I wanted to give you a sense of size. I'm trying to give you scale because obviously I'm putting a lot in here.
Because we had we had those conversations about the Lego games last night. So in my mind, when you said the minifigs, it is literally like Lego characters going.
Lego Die Hard would be pretty fun.
Lego Die Hard would be awesome.
I don't know how I do it as a pinball machine, though. Speaking of Lego games, video games, we did actually have an email that was video game oriented. So this one's from Christopher S., who wrote in and said, Dennis and Tony, originally I began listening to your show because of pinball, but the combination of the video and other areas kept me coming back. I'm a gamer at heart, PC gaming in particular as an adult. As I spend far more dollars on pinball than gaming, the opposite is true of my time. My question to you all is, have you tried Arc Raiders? You've not mentioned it in recent podcasts. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the gaming world for the last 2.5 months. In sales, awards, and outright player volume, it is crushing many top franchises. I've fallen deep into the rabbit hole and hope to get many months, if not years, out of this game. I really enjoy your show, and I've listened to it for several years. Thank you for thoughtful and enjoyable content. P.S. Portal is definitely Game of the Year. Sincerely, Chris. He means Pinball Game of the Year in regards to Portal with a discussion.
I mean, I don't.
It won TPF.
It did. Opinion. I agree with you. But the thing is I'm saying, I am comfortable just saying Portal, the video game, is Game of the Year.
Of the year it came out, I would agree. I don't know. I haven't played Claire Obscura.
That's true.
I haven't had a baguette in many a day.
I haven't either.
I have not played this. I've not played.
I've heard of Arc Raiders.
You and I have discussed it off air a little bit.
Yeah, and there was that whole big deal with the Game Awards where there were
people are like, "How could this thing win? It doesn't have multiplayer."
Yeah, there was that whole big thing, not understanding how a game could win.
Arc Bros were trying to crush baguettes.
Yes, I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I only know one person who plays it personally, and my big thing is the same thing that even though I enjoyed it, I haven't played Helldivers in a long time. I haven't played Overwatch in a long time. And I can't use the excuse that because my kids are too old for me to use this excuse anymore. I just have a terribly bad habit of while I'm playing a game that there's things that I have to do that require me to get up and walk away. So I have to pause the game. And it creates a real problem when I'm trying to play multiplayer games. Because I'll have to take work calls, I'll have to take care of the dogs, or I have to do something. So I've not not bought into it yet. I've not tried it yet. I'm interested in it. I hear really good things about it, but yeah, no, I'm just so terrible at playing multiplayer games because I get to this thing where it's like I need to go do this thing, and I've got another 20 minutes in this game, and it is problematic for my game playing. It's part of the reason why I'm so single player concentrated.
Yeah, I already have so many multiplayer games. So I'm basically in a 3 multiplayer game rotation right now. So throughout the week, I am playing Overwatch 2, Marvel Rivals, and Battlefield 6. I do not want to add a 4th. It's already too much, quite frankly. Marvel is usually just 1 day a week at this point because they got rid of daily quests. And so I do the weekly quests, and I can usually get them done in 1 day in about an hour to 90 minutes of gameplay. Overwatch has dailies. Overwatch usually consumes approximately 10 minutes to 45 minutes a day, and usually it's done within 3 matches. And then Battlefield is usually a few hours a week, just depending on what else I've been playing. So, and then there's single player stuff on top of it, which is what I usually do during the day on weekends.
Right.
So that's kind of my model. And so I'm not likely to start it, but so that's why you don't hear about it. So there you go. All right. What else is going on in the video game world?
Okay, video game world has a lot of interesting stuff.
Minifigs
for specifically, Lego has announced the release of their Zelda Ocarina of Time Lego set. That it's going to depict the final battle from Ocarina of Time, and it's $130. They also have put out the Great Deku Tree for $300. And then they're continuing to get all of the licenses. They were putting out some new Pokemon sets. There's a Pikachu with a Pokeball set that's going to be $200. There's a Gen 1 starter set that is like a diorama with all of the with the 3 Gen 1 starters. That is $650. And then if you want the cheap one is a $60 Eevee set.
Yes.
So definitely they have gotten between that. They just got the Star Trek license that they kicked out. They're going all in on the fandoms this year. Amazon put out a big announcement like a week ago about their Fallout-based reality show that they're going to call Fallout Shelter. If you're interested, they've got a spot on the website where you can go and figure it, and it tells you how to apply to become a player if you want to.
Okay. They're just going all in.
Oh, they're going all in. They're going to ruin it. They're going to ruin it.
No.
They're flat out going to ruin Fallout. That's what it is. They're going to ruin everything. Because that's what companies do nowadays is try and milk every drop out of something and utterly ruin it.
I want them to. What they should do is they could just. I want them to. I know it's hard for a big conglomerate corporation thingy like this, but I want them just start merging the stuff into just madness thing. Like if you lean into full madness, either you have to be really authentic or lean into full madness. Those are like the success of Fallout Season 1 was that it felt like the video game. They want like go full like this is Shelter of Power. Merge your Rings of Power show with Fallout Shelter, and it'll be you can have someone in their Elfian voice going around going, these rad roaches must be the work of Sauron, and just be like totally campy, like the new Star Trek Academy. Just embrace the camp a bit.
Just embrace it all,
because there's less judgment then. Well, there will be judgment from the purists, but at least
you're never going to get away from the judgment. And here's the thing: no matter what you do, somebody's going to hate it.
But I've played the Fallout Shelter game, and it's. Like I tried it twice and I've uninstalled it both times because it's so tedious. But. It
is a massive free to play nightmare.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just there's not enough variety in it to feel like it just was it all when I last did it. All it was like base resource management. Like in like Last War, which is the mobile game I play. Like I get to do fights. They added an endless runner to the game, except it ends because you trip, die. I guess it's Endless Runner if you are good. They've added some other flavors of stuff to be like, hey, you know what? I don't feel like managing my build queues right now. Let me just go ahead and see if I can gather a bunch of coins by doing endless running. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it'll be terrible, but it'll also probably have a whole bunch of people watch at least one episode.
Sure, we give things a shot.
Yeah. Some people do.
Some, yes.
Except for certain levels of Star Trek fans.
Yes.
Who won't give anything new Trek a shot.
Yeah, it's too bad. Lower Decks was really fun.
Lower Decks was fun. Games, the developer of Umasumi Pretty Derby, my daughter's favorite mobile game, has announced that they intend to create an AI-focused subsidiary company.
Yay.
The company is going to focus on developing AI-based services and tools.
Yay.
And then a week after they made that announcement, they had to make another announcement apologizing for any concerns that was caused by the first announcement, and reiterating that they have not used AI-generated art in its products and are not planning on implementing generative AI into their products without prior notice to people. They just want to make a company that makes AI tools for stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we brought up in this gaming section a lot over these last several months. AI is coming more and more into our discussions when you start highlighting the pieces of news. I guess, I don't want to go down a huge rabbit hole, but do you feel like I have a mixed mind, because I see usefulness to certain aspects of AI, but then I also just get this feeling like people are almost like trying to force feed us like I'm supposed to like it.
I do get that feeling.
Like they want it for like everything, even when it's like clearly like not ideal. It's
Right.
almost like
Now,
it's your friend.
Yeah, it is weird to me, some of the way they've been trying to force some of the AI into like everyday stuff. Like go online and do an internet search, and see how far you have to scroll to get past the AI generated answers to your internet search. Also, I've found like there's the huge backlash against AI being used for like anything in the gaming industry, and there are uses for the AI that I can understand. I know some companies have gotten dinged really big lately because they'll use AI to generate placeholder assets for while their artists are actually making the assets to put in the game, so that they can continue production using the placeholder stuff. And then they end up leaving the placeholder stuff in there, so the games go live with placeholder AI assets in place, which is a problem. But there are, just like you said, it feels like I'm trying to be forced into using AI all the time with everything, and I don't know why, because I don't need it. I don't have anything in here about it, but Sony put in a patent last year, and it is literally about an AI helper for while you're playing a game, where you can trigger the AI helper, and then like an AI clone of your character will appear in the game and show you and give you tips to get around what you're stuck on.
Anyway, okay. I don't know. It's just all this stuff. Like, it feels like I think I know what it is for me. I think, again, setting aside the practical aspects of it, because there are practical aspects of this, it feels like NFTs.
It does.
It feels like everyone, like, all of a sudden was like, you guys need to be buying all this crypto and you need to buy these NFTs. And we're like, yeah, but how does it make my life any better? Just buy it, because I need to be rich right now. Just buy it. It's all this, like, it feels grifty, and it pisses me off because it's really expensive. And so, like, this is a big energy drain.
It is.
Literally. And as they're trying to figure it out, I'm just like, maybe my bitterness is, why can't I buy RAM right now? Like, why is this stupid priced RAM? Because you guys are messing around with dumb stuff.
Right, and it's interesting because I have definitely seen things online where it's like, oh, you can do this, but you need to use so many tokens, AI tokens. You need to purchase these AI tokens to do this, and I'm like, what?
It's like, all right, so robotics.
Yeah.
Like, robotics can be really useful, and there's also, and robotics have been involved in years for manufacturing stuff. What is this thing right now with all these humanoid-looking robots? Like, the human shape is, like, not ideal for most activities.
No, it's not.
That you would want from production purposes. So everyone's making these humanoid, like, do these people, did they watch Terminator and think that they were the good guys?
Probably.
I don't understand why they are wasting money on stupid things.
At CES, Hyundai and Boston Dynamics, because Hyundai owns Boston Dynamics now, had an entire showcase about their new Atlas robot, which is their humanoid-looking robot with the big cyclopean single-eye-looking head thing.
Yeah, it was like what? Because I wanted Maximilian from the black hole to be in my house.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is. And it's like Boston Dynamics was one of those companies early in the robot stuff that I always liked because they had the dog style, horse style, like pack carrier type robots that made sense because they're 4-legged, they're fast, they're sturdy, they hold up, and you can load them down and move stuff. They made sense for all variety of things. And now they're coming out with, it's like, oh, look, this will be the in your home robot that will help you do stuff.
Anyway,
but yeah, no, I was looking at something that was like using AI to it was an AI art thing that they were talking about. And it was like, oh, this generates, you have to use tokens and it does this and you have to buy tokens and you see how many, it's like, why would I spend money on something like this? If I'm going to spend money on something like this, why wouldn't I hire somebody to make the art?
this will be cheaper at first.
Just like everything else.
This is like I've heard some of the AI experts on
Your
some
first hit is free.
Yeah, well, some of the AI, like, I've gone to some presentations on AI and in its relation to work and such. And a lot of it's been, oh, yeah, well, this is a great time right now because all of them are basically offering a lot of their power for free because they're all trying to beat each other. But at some point, we're not going to have Gronk and Copilot and ChatGPT. Like, some of these are going to lose. And the way that loss will probably be is they'll be bought up and then merged into multiple, that'll be what will happen. And then... here's the thing. It's my great eye, lidless and wreathed in flame, seized. It's like streaming. Cut the cable. Look at how much cheaper it's going to be to do the streaming services. Well, where are we now?
Exactly.
Abomination. It's an abomination.
It is, and that's how this is exactly how this will go in the end. And then from my professional standpoint, because I work in the water industry, is I keep reading these articles and all this stuff, looking at just the sheer amount of water usage and the sheer amount of changes that have to happen to the infrastructure to make up for how much water is being taken up by these facilities for cooling. And how they're being built in places that already have a fairly limited water infrastructure, so you're incurring enormous cost to run a new water infrastructure that can support it. Then you have to run a new infrastructure that support the wastewater coming out of it, and that means you have to up your ability to deal with the wastewater coming out of it. So it has massive infrastructure costs that are being eaten by. Here's the thing, is at least unlike NFTs, I can see useful things coming from AI.
Yes. And that's why it's not a perfect analogy.
Right.
But some of this like me, like I just feel like I'm a goose being foie gras, and they're like force feeding me. And I use AI at work. I do.
Yeah.
But they're like this is back in the summer. I was out on 4th of July. And she told me, a friend of mine, that one of her sons, when he gets up in the morning, he asks what should I wear? What should I eat for breakfast? And it's like, Skynet is not, you don't need Skynet to tell you how to live. I hope. Like, that's not, no. And then I just imagine that's probably common, Tony, and I just imagine all of these resources going to do something that just having an opinion would solve for yourself.
Man.
Without thinking that this robot's going to...
So AI, what do I need to do? What search terms do I need to put out into the world so that when AI starts asking people what they should have for breakfast, the answer is always whiskey and a cigar?
I don't know. You have to override its prior programming. But anyway. All right. Sorry about that. Maybe I should just cut all that whole discussion. That was awfully long.
It was long, but I think it's a valid thing. Well, think about it.
Well, it ties to video games.
It ties to,
kind of.
Let's be fair. How long until we start seeing an AI-designed pinball playfield?
Or have we already? We know we've seen the art.
Yeah. Interesting.
It just helped me. Yeah, give your dragons 3 eyes. Wow, what help. Amazing.
He's prying open his
skill.
third eye. He's a
The
magic
thing
dragon.
is, it is getting harder to tell. Like on some of the video
Yeah.
stuff, one of the subreddits I see a lot of is this real or AI?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have the eye for it. And people are just like, oh, that's definitely AI. And I have to go back and look, and they'll be like, look at all the potato face people in the background. This one looks like they're the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy. Like, I was just like, oh, wow. Or, hey, this dog's tail is clipping in and out of existence.
Yeah.
Because there was like one where it showed the family dog saved a child from getting backed over by their mom in the garage, and this
Yeah, I
dad
saw
comes
that
and
one.
run, and then it's like, here's what's all wrong with it. Like the dog's tail has this issue. There's the issue with how the vehicles kind of changes different speeds, and then someone's just like, and the fundamental issue that the parent ran to the dog and not their child. They're like, I'm like, okay, well. Maybe it's a bad parent, but I don't know. I don't. But they're like, that's the most telling part of all. Are you okay, Lassie?
Leave Timmy in the well.
That's right.
All right. So now
How's
that
Ubisoft doing?
Yeah, now we're off to the new happiness, the new year, new layoffs. of
What? No,
Ubisoft
everything's fine. They
firing
fired everyone
everybody.
last year.
Well, they're firing more people.
How? There's no one left.
They're finding them.
AI, find me more people. Roger, Roger.
Ubisoft is either shuttering or massively reducing 3 separate studios. They're fully shuttering their Halifax studio 3 weeks after they voted to unionize. But it was totally
Unrelated, huh?
It's completely unrelated. The closure was planned before the vote to unionize, supposedly. They're also
But after the decision to have a vote.
right. They're also doing layoffs at the Massive Entertainment. Ubisoft Stockholm and Ubisoft Abu Dhabi are being shut down as well. So, speaking of union busting, Rockstar's union termination has had a day in court. Specifically, the union asked to have Rockstar provide interim relief for the terminated employees, so put them back on the payroll and pay them until the hearing is over. And the judge denied the request. They said that's too far. The judge didn't say there was any issues with the suit going forward or any of the other claims. They just said that they weren't going to force them to do the interim relief.
Okay.
So we'll see how that works out in the end. Steam hit a milestone of 42 million concurrent Steam users.
Wow.
So
Powerful.
Steam, it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's in the game. Oh God, it hurts. Oh, it hurts so bad.
I just remember it's in the game. I don't remember what company had that. Was that EA Sports?
I think it was EA, yeah.
Sports.
Yeah.
It's in the game. And it burns. It burns
Birds,
bad.
it burns.
You can't see Steam. It's
AI, it's in the game.
Yeah.
It is the game.
And soon it'll become the gamer. AI will play itself.
Pal World.
Power World.
Not done being sued by Nintendo for being too much like Pokemon has an official card game coming out.
It feels like they're just almost like tempting it all.
It's just, I'm assuming at the rate Nintendo's been going, they're going to launch a lawsuit that they have a patent on collectible
Cards,
card
yeah.
games. Like you can't.
Patent on collectible cards, and then Topps will be like, but what about our baseball cards that go all the way back to at least the 50s? They'll be like, no, Nintendo claimed it first.
It was Nintendo's
All along. Sorry, babe. Mickey. Mickey Mouse is our next thing we're taking. Talking rodents are our thing.
Oh, that's ours. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. GameStop has announced that they're closing a quarter of their stores in the United States. That's 400 stores.
That's not surprising.
Not really. I recall pre-COVID, there were 2 GameStops in town here, and I knew of at least 6 more within 20 minutes drive. And now I think there's 1.
Yeah, I think they bought some time when they got to be a meme stock.
Yeah.
Because remember that was a thing
That
too,
was the
where
whole
everyone
thing
was
where the
buying GameStop and AMC.
Diamond hands.
And I think people did because their value dropped so much because they got left holding the bag because they don't know what they're doing. Diamond handed for a really long time, but with no new capital coming in. And
Right.
all the rest of it.
Yeah, they're just collapsing.
Yeah, it's just not the market changed to digital, so tough.
Very tough.
What about PlayStation? How tough is PlayStation?
PlayStation is in a weird place. They announced their top 5 played games in the U.S. for 2025. They are the exact same 5 top played games from 2024
In the same order?
in a different order.
Oh, okay. Phew. At least there's some change.
So at least there's some changes, but it's Fortnite number 1, Call of Duty number 2, GTA 5 number 3, Roblox number 4, Minecraft number 5.
This is why everyone wants
Last year it
the
was
game
like
as service.
Call of Duty, then Fortnite, then Minecraft. But
Okay.
it's yeah. This is why companies are all about games as a service, the live service games, and all that stuff. It is. These are the games that just live on the top of the charts. They're the most played games. We'll see how next year plays out, I guess. But the only thing I think might drop off of this list would probably be maybe Call of Duty might drop down.
yeah.
But I doubt it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's reviewed really badly. And
Now GTA, maybe F6 does drop next year early enough in the year to overwhelm. But my guess is we won't see 6 come up onto this list until 27. And the other big thing was GDQ happened. I watched large swaths of it in my normal method of I wake up at 3 a.m. and watch all the middle of the night stuff, so I get to watch the horror block and the awful block and all of the weird games in addition to watching a couple of the primetime games. But I just threw in a list of some of the highlights for me. I figured you can add some of your thoughts as well. My first highlight was the most cursed run of any game I've ever seen in a GDQ. It was Miscellaneous, A Tiny Tale. It's kind of a chibi robo-coded PC game. It's also on Switch. But they had... they don't know why. They could never figure out why because it worked fine all week in practice. But when they got up on the main stage and started playing... one specific interaction, which is selling stuff to the vendor, would hard lock the game. Once they figured out what was generating the hard lock, the runner luckily had a save that would let them jump past the required sale on level 1 and play through the entire rest of the game. Until the last 2 levels of the game, which required multiple sales to hit the speed requirements, and they literally could not finish the game. It was because it hard locked the game every time they tried. So, the runner handled it well. The couch handled it well. It was still a fun run to watch and humorous, but it was definitely one of the, if not the most cursed run I've seen in a while. Another run that was real big, specifically for my kiddos, was A Hat in Time. They're big fans of A Hat in Time. We were watching the runs. We were in separate rooms, watching the runs. And I was in my computer room. And during the Hat in Time run, the runner goes, well, here's a quick little skip that lets us skip this entire level. And this is nothing special. It's literally coded into the game from the beginning. It's always been there. You just can't see it, and you just, unless you accidentally find it. And he went through this thing that skips what's apparently the longest, hardest map in the entire game, skips the whole thing. I could hear my daughter screaming from the other side of the house about it, to the point where she loaded up A Hat in Time and immediately went there to see if that was real or not, and it was. And she came out in like a frothing rage about how much time she has spent on that level when she could just
They had
end it.
they had another route, and she never
never
her hat.
found it.
She never found the right hat.
Fitness boxing with Hatsune
saw it.
Miku was also it was. I was surprised at how much fun that video was. That run was actually to watch. Because when it came up, because it came up immediately after the Hat in Time run, and I just had it running, so I wasn't paying attention. And I ended up it's like, okay, this is actually an interesting discussion and an interesting thing to watch. And at the same time, man, that looked like an exhausting game. And apparently, I looked up the fitness boxing. They have fitness boxing Fist of the North Star.
You're already dead. Once I
Right?
complete this combo.
I have to complete this combo. So, during the awful block, 12 Bananas, which
Yep.
Dennis saw pictures of last night.
I did.
It is, wow. It is free on Steam. It is something special. I watched it. I have no need to play it or think
It
about
looks like AI made it.
It does. It looks like that, and the controls and everything about it looks super jank. It is like weird. What wasn't the end game of it, but I think to me was the highlight of the entire week was the Maimai DX Prism Plus showcase, which Maimai DX Prism Plus is a rhythm game where it's an arcade machine that looks like a washing machine, and it's got a touch screen and touch buttons, and it's a rhythm game where you basically just touch and slap at the screens in time, like you would like DDR, but instead of using your feet and bouncing around on just like 4 pads, it is like an entire enormous area. And it is insane watching people play this game. I watched it live, and then I've rewatched portions of it since. Just because, like when I rewatched it while I was writing up my notes for the show, I rewatched portions of it. It is just such a. It's like watching those competence porn shows like The Pit or ER or stuff like that, where it's just watching somebody be very, very good at what they do is just enjoyable to watch. So, I also watched the Super Mario 64 70-person, 70-star relay run. I thought what was interesting about that was while they had a certain number of runners who knew it to get the really difficult stars, for the most part, they just grabbed runners that were running other things and taught them how to get a single star in the course of the show leading up to it.
Right.
And they had 70 people come up on stage, and each person gets 1 star. It was fun, and there was a guy who there were a couple people who did grabbed their stars blindfolded. Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker had an 80% run. I just put this in here because I thought it was impressive because I remember watching Wind Waker runs take multiple hours, not that many years ago, and they've got it down to 28 minutes because they have figured out how to use like mechanics in the game to basically input code like it was an AI assisted run, and they can end the game in like 30 minutes, under 30 minutes. So the last 2 I have listed was the Hades 2 all weapons run, which was fun because they used all weapons alternating between underworld and overworld, and it was just a good couch and a good runner, and it was fun to watch. And it made me realize that I'm even worse at that game than I thought I was. And I did not think I was very good at that game. And the final one was the final game, which instead of being Metroid.
Yeah, they did that like on Thursday.
Yeah, it was a modded version of Pokemon Emerald, where the runner was they had like incentives running where people would donate do the donations, and name a Pokemon, and whoever had the highest donation when the runner beat a gym, the mod let him change the game state to change his only Pokemon, because it was a single Pokemon run, to whoever was the highest money earner at the time, which translated into that speed run was like 3.5 hours because they kept giving him just absolute garbage Pokemon to try and beat gyms with. Also, it wasn't helpful that somebody pulled the fire alarm and they had to abandon the entire run halfway through for like half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. That's the part where I turned it off.
Yeah. I went to sleep shortly after that. I didn't see the end of it. So, but those were kind of my highlights and thoughts on GDQ this time around. Did you have any?
My favorite run was actually the Mario Kart 64 relay. Items are enabled. So it was really close because there would be people that would be in first and then they get blue shelled. And they actually, these were good players. They had blue shell tech and stuff. A lot of them could, I'd say maybe there's a 50% rate of escaping the blue shell because they knew which items to hold and stuff. And it was really zany. Because they kept trading back and forth. All the way, it was like anyone could have ended the game in first place up until the last two maps. And then it was still it was neck and neck between a couple of the players. So that one was a lot of fun. I saw a lot of these other, Maimai was good 4 or 5 years ago when I first saw it. And so this was a pretty good. I thought the part with having 8 people play was a little stupid, but it was one of those little bonus donation incentives. I did not like the final game. I thought it was a terrible concept for the Pokemon. I thought it was painfully slow, and I was glad someone pulled the fire alarm, quite frankly.
It's I have an excuse to go to sleep now.
I have an excuse to go to sleep, and I was just I looked at his estimate, and I was like, oh my God, this is, and I wasn't sure if he was delivered, because sometimes my frustration with GDQ now is I think they it's so suspicious, like my suspicions of AI. I feel like they coach the runners to throw when they're not making the donation incentives, and I felt like he was throwing, deliberately sucking.
Maybe-ish. Some of those Pokemon, they were really against type.
But I just see other instances where it's well, I think maybe I should use these items maybe I should drink these things right now. Oh no, I didn't drink the thing to fill up my health. Oh, I've died. Oh dear. He didn't sell it like that obviously, but I was just he did it 4 times, and I'm like, do you not remember how the items of this game you purportedly have practiced worked? Or are you deliberately stalling here in the hopes that you'll set a new record, which they didn't?
No.
So,
that's no surprise to me that they weren't going to set a new record. I
didn't like that one. I did not watch Hades 2 since I've not played it yet. I deliberately turned it off when that one came on, so I didn't watch that one. I'm trying to think. There are a few others that were kind of interesting. I caught the Donkey Kong one.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't have known what it was. I don't really know that game, but the tech that they were using to move around was oh, wow, this game looks really, really easy. Donkey Kong's basically flying. I didn't know he could fly, so that was kind of cool to watch that. There was a game the first day. I can't even remember what it was, so I probably shouldn't say anything, but it was a terrible couch. They warmed up eventually, but it was just my tolerance has gone down in my old age. I'm just get them off the stage.
Yeah.
This is the runner's not talking, and their couch is terrible.
Right.
The worst. Put them at 2 a.m. so only Tony sees it if you're going to do that.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon, especially in the middle of the night, to see runs where the only person is the runner. Mm-hmm. And if you get a runner who's not personable enough, there's a lot of silence in those runs.
Did they have a Mario Maker this time? I
didn't see one.
See, I missed that. I actually like races the most. I like it when their people are going, and so they did. I watched Super Metroid. It was just one player doing it. I think practically everyone's past Super Metroid. It's so tradition, really.
Right.
But I'm glad they're not in. I'm glad they tried to end with Pokemon Emerald instead of I'm done with Super Metroid being the last game.
Right.
But I'm also done with what they used to do, which is end with an 8-hour RPG, because no one was going to stay up for that.
Yeah, and I think what they tried with Emerald makes sense from attempting to get more donations.
That part and the switching, I was fine with. But I don't know. It was weird. I also think maybe the runner should have shut up and had a couch talking more than he was. But
it's Asdef. They'll never get that happening.
No, I know. He's trying. They're trying to make him be the new Spike Vegeta. I can tell they're trying to face Spike.
I mean, he is a yeah. I don't think you're wrong.
And that was I can't remember what game it was. Spike might get banned.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm most likely not because it's Spike. But
I was gonna say
there was one. It was late. I don't remember what they were playing, but Spike was starting to go into like full on internet slang. Like when he starts talking about, you just need to go and slap the cheeks of that boss. I was like, they were even starting to say, Spike, you're like, you're getting close here, Spike. And he's just like, oh, I'm just happy, and I'm feeling like you almost would have thought he was drunk, but you could just tell it was exhaustion. He had been up so long. And everyone's now making jokes. The innuendo was starting to get a little like they keep GDQ really clean.
they do.
Surprisingly clean. And and then Spike's usually a master at it. But no, he was just like, oh, well, that's quite an outfit. Oh, where does she keep that sword? Sort of stuff like this stuff like that. And it's like, Spike, bro, they're gonna cancel you, bro. You gotta watch it.
I missed that one.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. Whatever game it was just.
Well, if he was that exhausted,
It might have been the Donkey Kong.
Oh, then
But Donkey Kong, I remember. But it was ultimately it was fine. It was just, but I could tell they were getting a little nervous because everyone's feeling a little loose, and then you're just, because we've seen streamers that clearly swear a lot on their streams, try and be good. And in a lot of instances, that's when they're like, I'm not going to talk. My couch will do all the talking. And I think half the time, it's not that they can't talk. It's because they know that they can't.
They stream of consciousness it. And, Yeah.
So overall, I'm pretty entertained. I watched quite a few of the primetime pieces. I only caught part of the Super Mario 6470 person. So, but I did see part of it.
There was one of the middle of the night games is I was trying to remember what it was called. It was humorous. It was in the horror block. That it was just funny because it was one of those. It was a combination of horror and cooking simulator, and it was just funny because the way the rules in the game were. There's no like specific issues if you just like start all the food cooking and then as it finishes pull it off the stove and just throw it on the floor. There's no so literally the whole thing is the runners just throws all the food on to start cooking like before anything starts because nobody's order ever changes. So she has everybody's orders for every day of the entire run memorized. So she starts everything cooking immediately and as it finishes she just throws it all on the floor because it's faster than moving it to the table or putting it on anything else. You just throw it all there's no negatives for it. It's not like you lose points for it. And so the whole time it's just like floor burgers, just pulling burgers and stuff off the floor.
That sounds fun.
And it was hilarious. So yeah.
But no, they did, I believe, raise more than SGDQ did last year, but they did not beat AGDQ's record.
No, they raised what 2.4 something as I recall.
Think so, yeah.
But let's be honest, I'm not surprised that there was no beating of the record.
Yeah, because no Mario Maker.
And that's what it was. Relay Maker is the end all be all.
They're usually pretty fun. You get the I like the one where they like let's relay it and we rotate the controller every time someone dies, so your team is trying to make progress on the same level, and it's just a constant rotation. So you can't as quickly adapt because you have to wait 3 more turns until you get to give yourself another try.
Right.
But people are learning from your mistakes, so they're trying to correct based off what they saw, but they weren't the ones actually manipulating it. And by the way, this is the first time they've seen the level. Like it's stuff like that.
Stuff like that. That's the
stuff I tend to really like. But I do also like I did see the fitness Hatsune Miku. That was fun. I will say that guy needed to be in better shape to do that game.
Probably.
Because he missed his estimate.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was by like 2 minutes, but I'm super judgmental. And I'm like, that's because you took way too many water breaks.
Yeah,
the washing machine bros weren't taking water breaks like you.
Well, I mean, they were swapping player. They were like,
well, he should have baked that in.
He should have,
or honestly, he should have baked in 3 more minutes on his estimate.
I mean, considering their overall, I don't think they were terribly far off the overall.
No,
estimate.
they didn't fall away. Though I heard they had some. I think the GDQ showrunners have gotten better about baking in breaks that they just
Right.
ice out if they start to fall behind. Because there's a lot of times where they pause to quote unquote game swap, but a lot of it's them just really trying to push the prizes and stuff to up the donations or highlight what's going to be special for the next 8 hours, sort of thing. So anyway, I donated. I didn't buy a shirt. I got plenty of shirts. So
I actually bought a shirt this year, so we'll
I
see
did not.
when it
My
gets here.
my GDQ shirts have held up really well. I've had to throw a few out that have finally gotten worn down, but I still have one or two that I just wore one last week. Actually, one of mine from probably 6 years ago. But I do like the event; it's fun.
It is
I
always a
usually
good
catch part of it,
good
so.
run. So, but all right, that's what I have in the Vidian games this time around.
Well, that's all we got then. So, for those of you who want to reach out to us, you can email us at what? You're
Almost
pointing at
forgot.
me. He's pointing at me, guys.
I included a link specifically to the Maimai run.
Okay. All
Just
right.
because-
go into the episode link section and you will see said link. I saw that you had posted it in there.
I completely forgot to share it because
Oh, okay.
the My run is just so much fun for I think even people without
Yeah.
big video game background.
Yeah, no, you don't. It's not. That's just about, well, hey, look at this person who's people actually who are really, really good at a really cool rhythm game.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I've still never played it. You can reach out to us at eclecticgamerspodcast@gmail.com or go to facebook.com/eclecticgamerspodcast. If you want to support the show, you can for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/eclectic_gamers.
We're available on Twitch and Instagram as eclectic_gamers.
And we will be back in 2 weeks. Will Stern finally have released a new game? Who knows? I don't even know they're making games anymore. But
They might not.
I really
make
don't know.
games. Who knows?
Maybe venture capital will buy them out. I have no idea. But until next time, my name is Dennis.
I'm Tony.
Goodbye.
See ya.